All right, you guys, it's a week later, and we'll kind of see what we've moved on to. I think one of the first things we were wanting to do with Baxter is to get an example of his arm all moving around. So let's go ahead and get a little bit better view. Oh, wrong way. Let's go ahead and get a little bit better view of this guy. Whoop, whoop. So this will be pretty good. Let's zoom in a little bit. And what we're going to be doing is focusing on his right arm. So when I do narrow in here, I'll lift up just so we can get essentially about up to like his torso or so. Get some pretty nice ceiling on this view. The script that I wrote does essentially a little bit of a salute. So let's go ahead and have a check and see how that goes. But before we actually run the script, I'll show you some of the issues that I had with getting the scripts running with Baxter to begin with. And so I already have this terminal open that was essentially just to launch Gazebo, but we'll be opening up another in a second. First off, I'll show you all the directory that I put all my stuff in. So even when you're just installing ROS, it should just put it into a folder on your home page. Go into there. You'll install your own SRC. When you look in here, this is where the Baxter simulator went. So this is all the stuff for Gazebo, but that's not what we're interested in right now. I put all of my scripts in the Baxter's examples file just because I already, when I was learning the program, when I was learning ROS, all the scripts that were running were already in this directory. So once you call this directory, you can access any of the scripts in here. And the first issue that I had is that I can't actually run the program that I made. And after reading online for quite some time to try to suss it out, there were suggestions to allow executing files programs because, like, innately this isn't tabbed. So seems like a good idea. And then if you looked into all of these other codes that were already here, the first tagline they have is this right here, so that Python will actually know to actually operate on this as opposed to, I guess natively it runs like C++, but you need that line there. But even with both of these changes to making this an executable and adding this tagline, still get a little bit of an issue. I'll go ahead and show you what that is. So if we open up a new terminal, and I'll make it so we can see Baxter. Cha, he's a nice guy. So what do we got? We'll go to our directory for ROS, and then from there we'll go to our Baxter simulation. Woohoo! And in here, the first thing we'll want to do is actually enable. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll attempt to run the script that I put in. So this Baxter project 1. And then when I press enter, no such file and directory. Wonderful. Yeah. When that's the best progress you get after working with this for a few hours, it's pretty discouraging. But I can run all of these just fine. So I had the great and astounding idea just to copy one of these and then paste it in here and then say, well, I don't like your name, so let's rename you. We'll get you to be Baxter 1. That's more than fine. And then what we'll do is we'll open with Git. I'll just copy this whole thing. Now it's Control A and Control C shortcuts. And we'll just paste it all into this one. Control A, Control V this time. Great. So it looks like we're all in a great spot, but we still do have another issue. I won't tell you what it is, but we'll be seeing just in a second. And it's interesting. So it actually has to do with the formatting for how I put that program together. But no less, we can just go back into this terminal. Let's pull it up so we get Baxter in the background. I'll scroll this down a little bit. Okay. And then instead of running Project Baxter 1, we'll just delete that because this is what I pasted everything into. And just for the layout of this, we're using ROS to run the program. It's in that Baxter examples directory, and this is the program, so it'll auto jump to the scripts folder. So Baxter examples scripts, and we're trying to run this. Let's reset that up and enter. I'm just gonna be like, no, no. Okay, well, what's our issue? So saying no non-ASCII character and file, saying that line 10 has a syntax error, and so this is where you'd think, if you were more of a logical planner, that because we have these commands behind a comment line, they should be fine, right? Well, no. So if you look right here, this thing that we just posted in as this exclamation mark, and this is essentially to run this line in the command prompt. So when we're running this script, the command line is also trying to run this too. That's a little bit of an issue. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of um, just copy over this whole bit and just say, we don't need you at all. So bam, and the reason I got rid of some other lines is it didn't really like that arrow pointer thing too. So let's save there, and then see if we can get our little salute going. Um, Baxter1.py. Let's run it. First the script is going to put Baxter's arm in a neutral position. Then it's going to come up for this little salute. Be like, yo, what up? And put his arm back to the neutral position and then close up. Fantastic. And so we've essentially seen how it operates on this view. So let's look everything that the script itself prints out. And then just so you can have them both going in full at the same time, we'll still be able to see the arm a little bit, and then we can see the script itself. So you can see everything it types out. And say, welcome to Baxter's right arm manipulation, getting robot state, enabling robot done. He does this little salute, exiting example, and bam, we're good. Now, I guess I should put in another line that just says that we're putting his arm back to default position, but that's what we got so far, and now you guys essentially know how to get things going. Just another side point, though, is that Gazebo can be a little cumbersome. There are some times that I'll start it up and it won't actually have loaded in Baxter at all. It'll just be a black screen right here. So, if you ever do experience oddities like that, just know it's part of the game. Every once in a while, this thing just won't. And the reason I'm saying this is that this is the terminal that I start up Gazebo with. So, for example, let's go ahead. Oh, let's see what I have pasted. Yeah, don't want that. Let's close that terminal. We'll go back over here, and this I just always copy this code to start up Gazebo because I can't quite remember all the correct input for that every time. But no less, we'll go ahead and shut down Gazebo just to see if it'll start up kindly, because that's not always the case. So we'll go into our ROS directory, start up our Baxter simulation. We'll paste in the Gazebo command, and T'Challa is going to scroll through massively and angrily. And the issue is that sometimes, if you saw that black screen, it will just get stuck there. And now, if you'll notice, where am I? This is one of the issues in navigating. Okay. This is actually great. But if you'll see, despite the fact that we closed the simulation and opened it again, like this window just goes into the Baxter simulation itself. So even when we close the environment and open it back up, you'll see that Baxter still keeps his neutral pose. So if you do ever experience some oddities with Baxter in the simulation environment, you'll either have to reset Ubuntu entirely, or in my case with a virtual machine, just shut the VM down and start it right back up again. But just so that we can see that everything's all fine and dandy with that program, we'll go ahead and jump back in here, go into CD, jump into Baxter simulation, and from here, how we did have E, if we just type S to get the state, it'll tell us if he's still enabled. He actually doesn't enable when you close the program, then restart it. So that's something to keep note of. So we will re-enable Baxter, and then we'll run our program. Shaw, Baxter 1. And see how it goes. So you're going to do our salute? Oh, yeah. Put that arm back. But yeah, seems like everything's pretty much good to go. If you guys do end up having any more questions, just holler at me. I'll try to do what I can to get it all down and together. But I figured that I'd let you guys know that sometimes you'll actually just have to copy. Here, let me go back to the files in the directory. You'll just have to copy a file that already exists and paste into it and get rid of any lines that have these console commands. But I got rid of this whole block just because I might not like these funny characters too. But yeah, everything's good to go, and hope you guys can use this framework that I kind of slapped together and just change up these values to do your own ARM commands, and you should be good to go. Aside from that, you have a good day and goodbye.